The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Wait till you hear what Todd McShay had to say about the Jets draft in 2025. We'll play you what he said, and Dylan Tereman and I will break it all down. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby.
I got just the guy to get us going tonight.
Each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Brees Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go. We're here on a Tuesday. It is a couple days removed from the 2025 NFL Draft, but the content just keeps going, baby. If you missed our first show today, Robbie Sabo was our featured guest, so check that out. You also missed a lot involving Beastbreaker versus a new enemy on the show, Bobby Beasley. So be on high alert if there's a Bobby Beasley in the chat. All right. Today's guest is one of our favorites. He was a huge part of our draft coverage all weekend long. Ladies and gentlemen, Dylan Tereman from Jet Nation Live joins us now. Dylan, have you recovered from being on the air with me for like 6 hours in total over the weekend?
Yeah, man. I feel like I've gotten adequate sleep now. It's funny. We were doing that pod. We were about 4.5, maybe almost 5 hours in, and I didn't feel tired until one Peter Castro in the chat told me I looked tired, and I immediately felt like I could go to sleep. So I was good. I was strong the whole 5. I greatly appreciate you. I thought that was some of the best podcasting I've ever done in my, short 4 years of doing this. And the chat was great. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and shout out to Papa Jet, because he sent me a Venmo and he was super generous. He didn't need to do it, and he was a man of his word. He sent it from his son's Venmo. So very much appreciative of every single person out there. So, yeah, a lot of fun, and I'm ready to break it down. Love it.
Now, let me say this. It's always Peter Castro getting in the way of something good, isn't it?
Oh, shit.
Why don't you go fall off your bike again, Castro? How about that? Dylan, you were awesome, man, so thank you again for being part of our coverage. And I want to get your thoughts on this Jets draft class. We'll go in depth on that. But first, what I have right here is, I think, a very informative and educational breakdown on the Jets 2025 draft class from longtime draft analyst Todd McShay. He was breaking down every team's draft haul on the McShay Show, which he does through The Ringer. And him and his podcast host, Steve Mensch, who's a longtime NFL scout, now working in media, broke down the pros and the cons of every team's picks. So here was McShay and Mensch breaking down the New York Jets.
Jets were interesting. And I honestly, they had a really good draft. This offensive line, if you tell Jets fans, while it's not sexy, it's not the tight end, but obviously,
but you got the tight end.
I know. I'm saying with the first pick.
I know, but you still get
the
tight end.
Here's what I loved about the Jets pick, okay? And I think, and I talk about it a lot leading up to the draft, so I want to point out where it happens, and I want to give organizations, when they manage the board the way this was managed, okay, you got to give them credit for doing it. We talk about combo picks a lot. It's okay. What does it look like if we take Tyler Warren at 7, or we take a corner? There's no corner. Take an edge. But Jalen Walker fell to 15, okay? The guy that we talked about potentially. Tyler Warren fell to 14. And most importantly, 8 offensive linemen went in the first round, okay? So what does this board look like if we go with one of those two, the aforementioned, Warren, Walker? What's going to be available at 38 when we come back on the board at offensive tackle? The answer was nothing you're psyched about.
Nothing you could plan on
being a starter right away.
Yeah.
So we get Armand Membu, who you and I believe, outside of Josh Simmons, is the most talented offensive lineman in this draft. Okay,
Agree.
And in that zone blocking scheme, and how good he is getting out and running at 332 pounds. It's like stupid when you watch him on tape, guys.
Play on the right. They have a need on the right.
Yes, and with Fashanu and Tippmann and Sampson and most importantly, Elijah Vera Tucker playing at home now at guard. This could finally be the first time we could say in 3 general managers, and give Joe Douglas a lot of credit for being a part of transitioning from really bad to pretty good, but not quite there. They carry the torch over. This could be the first time in like over a decade that the Jets actually have an asset in that offensive line group. Okay, and that's going to help because they got to run the football because Justin Fields isn't going to sit in the pocket and beat you. And if you're going to run the football, right, and you're going to try to work the short in the middle of the field, let's bring in Mason Taylor. I didn't think there was a chance in hell Mason Taylor is going to be the 3rd tight end. I did think maybe 42, but again, managing the board. Saying if we go Warren here, we get nothing at tackle that we're psyched about.
Exactly.
Now we're psyched about our right tackle. And, like, I'm thrilled. Mason Taylor, if he can stay healthy, and I know it's a big if because he had 2 seasons, but it was really like one injury that he was still fighting through and came back. So, again, we're talking about the combo picks. You fix your right tackle position. You fix your offensive line. And by doing so, you avoid what could have happened at 42, which is there's no tackle that can be the starter and be an impact guy. And then you still get Mason Taylor. And Mason Taylor wasn't utilized properly. It was like 12th percentile of average depth of target at LSU. But he was like 93rd percentile or something ridiculous in terms of separation. So we know he can separate. He just wasn't utilized down the field. This guy, I mean,
he's a plug-and-play starter.
He's a plug-and-play starter. He's reliable. He's durable. He's consistent. He's a worker. He's got it in his blood. 2 Hall of Famers in his bloodline.
Played in the SEC.
Mason Taylor, like there was talk about him going late 1st round. Okay? So those combo picks were brilliant. And then to come back in the 3rd round and get your corner and to wait on corner because Amos dropped. A.Z. Thomas from Florida State dropped. These corner Savone Revel dropped. So my point is they knew the board. They did their work. They had their relationships and communication, and they wound up getting at those spots a starting right tackle, a starting tight end, and impact guys. And taking a flyer on A.Z. Thomas, who ran the 4.58.
I love that pick.
But on tape, where it matters, he plays fast.
Right.
Really good ball skills. I just like this draft a lot.
I liked it a lot as well. I talked to someone in the league the week of the draft, and Malachi Moore was a guy who was all over my board all year. Loved him. I was concerned about size and speed, and there's some tape from 2023 when Malik Neighbors is running by him, and Malik Neighbors does that to guys, but this person in the league was like, keep an eye on Malachi Moore. He is a good player. He's a slot safety. I thought that was a great pick towards the end of the 4th round, and I'll say this too. Tyler Barron from Miami, their last pick in this draft,
yes,
is
great,
underrated edge.
Yep,
he's a guy that people are going to look back and say, how is he rated so low?
Yeah.
Something else interesting about their draft. I want to make sure I get this right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 SEC players, 3 ACC players. They're not messing around with, and I think we're going to see more of this with the transfer portal stuff.
Yeah,
but they're not messing around with the smaller schools. They wanted to get guys from bigger programs.
Once again, that's courtesy of the McShay Show. Dylan, will give you the first word as our draft expert on this show. Your thoughts on their assessment, their evaluation on some of the picks of the process the Jets used with their first ever draft under Glenn and Mougey.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that stuck out to me when they talked about offensive tackle versus tight end, you look at the 2nd round and how the picks fell in the 2nd round. And that was, the first half of our show on Friday, obviously. We took, obviously, Mason Taylor at 42, and the immediate tackles that went after him were Ariante Ursary, and then Anthony Belton to the Packers, and then Ozzie Trapillo to the Bears at 56. So my theory is if you're debating between offensive tackle and tight end, at 7, and there's no guarantee that Taylor or Ursery is going to be there at 42, you have to land the safer pick. And that's what I think they did. I think they went safe approach and they took the offensive lineman because even if and Ursery did obviously fall to 42, but is that a guarantee that he can be a starter like they mentioned? I know Jets fans were in love with Ursery, and he is a bit of a mauler. I thought he did fine at the Senior Bowl when I was there. Do we know he's a plug and play day one starter? If they felt Membu was and he wasn't, that changes everything and the perspective from at least my point of view. Also, on the class as a whole, and I know they talked about Barron with the last pick. I'm not quite, familiarized with the Miami guys yet. There's a chance in their rookie contracts we have 3.5 or more starters on this team. And I think when you look at the class as a totality, you can grade it whatever you want 72 hours later. You really have to wait 1, 2, 2.5, maybe even 3 years with some of these guys to finally get that grade out. But I see a potential for 3 starters by 2026, and that immediately seems like it's more than what Joe Douglas has ever given us, except for the 2022 class where you had 4 in the top 36. So to me, I like the strategy looking back on it. There's a lot of picks that I like. Membu is not even my favorite pick. It's Malachi Moore. So the fourth round guy at 130 ended up being my favorite pick. So there's a lot to like about it. I understand the reach on Arian Smith, not saying
they didn't mention, by the way. I was hoping they were going to talk about that. It's the one day 3 pick they didn't shed any light on.
Yeah, and maybe they were just trying to be super positive and not, be negative at all when giving these takes. I didn't listen to the rest of that show. But yeah, if that's the one problem fans seem to have with the draft class right now, that's okay with me. I mean, obviously, the Miami linebacker is kind of an unknown. I don't know much about him. And then there's potential for Tyler Barron as a 5th rounder, but outside of that, I really like this class, and I thought the day 2 picks especially were some of my favorites all around.
Well, you look at the Taylor breakdown, and I think ultimately the Jets basically decided if we take, let's say, either Warren or Loveland at 7, which both were on the board available for them to do, are we going to be able to get that starting tackle at pick 42? Maybe they felt like, no, we probably wouldn't be able to. And even if we could, we didn't have a high enough grade to warrant them being, a true plug and play tackle. So I think they're right. McShay talked about the combo picks. We talked a lot about that on the show, how it felt like whatever the Jets did at 7 would directly impact the thought process and the approach to 42. And it feels like it played out that way, right? You go Membu at 7, so then you could take the best weapon, or maybe there was the best tight end all along they wanted. But either way, the board played well for them to get Taylor, who some thought could be a late first-round pick the day of the draft.
Yeah, and the gripe about, taking a cornerback over a defensive tackle or Arian Smith over a defensive tackle, Malachi Moore over a defensive tackle, I understand all those points. But I do think that clearly there is a disconnect between what the draft media and draft world thinks and what the people inside One Jets Drive think. We will never know right away who's correct. We're going to stand on our, we're going to stamp the flag that we're correct. They should have got a defensive tackle to play next to Quinnen Williams because outside of him, it's kind of a scrap heap of guys. But to them, they could see Derek Nottie playing a predominant role. They might like Leonard Taylor. We don't know. I jokingly mentioned Fedarian Mathis's name on Buffalo's pod last night. It's like you don't know how they feel about the guys already in-house. Would we have liked them to take at least one guy? Sure. But who knows if that would have even been the right guy? We obviously got poached multiple times by Buffalo. They took TJ Sanders, Landon Jackson, and Dayon Walker all ahead of us, all defensive linemen. So maybe Buffalo was, expecting the Jets to do this. And I don't know. I'm not going to kill them for it, although I do understand why fans are frustrated that they didn't even look at the position with the draftable picks that they had. They took a West Virginia UDFA, Fatorma Mulba, and Peyton Page from Clemson. I don't know anything about them. Maybe they see, potential in them as the UDFA guys, but somebody in that room obviously is going to have to step up now.
Yeah, my big thing is I would have liked to have seen them address defensive tackle. Now, the other picks, I'm a big fan of what they did night 1, night 2. You were with me night 2, so you know how I felt.
Mhm.
And I was a big fan even of some of the day 3 picks. Like, I like Malachi Moore. I think he's actually got a chance to start. That was a good nugget that McShay's co-host Steve Mensch, brought up about the little nugget he got on Moore. Like, I don't care if Malik Neighbors beat him in college. He did that to everyone. He did that to guys in the NFL this year. Moore looks like a real player, and every comment Glenn made, they seem to have a real plan for how they're going to deploy each picks. And that was a huge issue with Douglas and Saleh. They take Malachi Corley. They have no plan for how they're going to use the guy. They have no real, just plan for a guy, for lack of a better way of describing it. Like, it just show up and we'll figure it out. Like, that can't be the case. So while I don't even like the Smith pick in the 4th round, at least if you saw my interview today with Robbie Sabo, he believes they have a real plan for how they're going to use him right away to help clear out some guys and open things up over the middle of the field. So I do think they got some good value at 42 with Taylor. They definitely got value with Thomas at 73. I agree with McShay there. Day 3 is day 3. They come away with 1 or 2 guys that look like real players. That's a win no matter how you got them. That's the bottom line with a day 3 pick.
Yeah, I think with Joe Douglas and that regime, it was a lot of talent acquisition in the draft, and we loved all the picks. They were highly rated on everybody's board, and we were all in love with the talent of the player, but there was no plan. They didn't put a team together. They just kind of put names on a roster, and it never seemed to come together for them. So at least you can be cautiously optimistic with this first draft with Glenn and Mougey, that because they didn't necessarily take guys that were, maybe they went against the grain. We'll use that term just to be nice instead of saying they completely failed day 3 of the draft. They just went against the grain. But if you show me a solidified plan for an Arian Smith, it somewhat makes up for the fact that he was a reach. And I understand there's some guys that had him as like 300s on their board. So for him to be taken at 110, I truly understand. I think it was maybe a 5th round pick. We said it at the time. I believe Dom was on with us when it happened, and we both were in agreement, like 5th or maybe 6th round even. So I'm not excusing them reaching, but when you can have a plan for the guy, it does make it a little bit of an easier pill to swallow. Whereas AZ Thomas and Malachi Moore, I can see the plan right away. I don't even need them to tell me because I watched them enough on film. I have a notebook right here, my spring game notebook. I had Malachi Moore written up in 2022 when he was like a true sophomore, and he just has plus marks all over. Like, he was sacking the quarterback in spring games. Like, they were having him do everything at that star position. So I can totally see the role for him right away to come in and play. AZ Thomas might be like a mid-season or 2026 starter in my opinion, but like, there's going to be a time where you cannot keep AZ Thomas on the bench any longer, whether it's him playing well or it's Brandon Stevens maybe struggling, and we hope it's the former. But AZ Thomas is going to get on the field at some point, and him and Sauce are going to be special lockdown corners. They're both 6'2", super long. They're not the greatest straight line speed, and we don't care about that because when I watch, you can jam the guy at the line of scrimmage, mirror, flip your hips, and run with him. So if you can do all those things, I don't care what the 40 times says. And I think that's really important. But now we have 6 capable guys in that back end. Sauce, Stevens, AZ, Michael Carter II, Cisco, Moore, and even, Tony Adams to a degree is like your 6.5 man. And I feel like you have a deployable defensive backfield where maybe your pass rush isn't great and we're going to blitz more linebackers. But the guys on the back end, I feel really confident in holding up and manning down their targets and making sure that the play doesn't become a huge explosive.
Comments, questions, super chats, they cut the line. What did you make of Menchie noting that the Jets specifically targeted players from either the SEC or the ACC, that they were all about seemingly the big schools, the top competition? Is it just maybe coincidence, or do you think that was a targeted approach by this front office and Aaron Glenn?
I think it had to be targeted to a degree. I mean, you're going to want to find the toughest guys in college football. I'm not saying they all come out of the SEC, but when you're looking at a guy who's playing top competition week in and week out, or 10 out of 13 games on their schedule, or in conference games against really tough opponents, that speaks volumes. Like, I was going back and I watched Malachi Moore, and one of his games was against Georgia. So naturally, I'm going to throw it on, and you get a twofer because you have Arian Smith and Georgia's offense. And there was actually a clip where they kind of started pushing each other, and we can get into that when we do the film breakdowns. But there was some jet-on-jet crime during Alabama, Georgia, between Arian Smith and Malachi Moore. But I like this. I'm a fan of it. I do appreciate when you can find the talent at the small schools. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to Nathan Shepard this thing and find a guy who's like in Canada, who was like 27 years old. Like, we don't need to do all that. So like, again, we went with the safer approach. I do think it's cool too. And this is the reason why I wore the Senior Bowl hat today. I think our first 5 picks were supposed to be or did attend the Senior Bowl. Membu went and measured and pulled out. I thought it was an illness. I've kind of heard differently on other podcasts. I don't know the full details, but he was supposed to go but didn't compete. Mason Taylor was there. AZ Thomas was there. Arian Smith was there. Malachi Moore was supposed to be there, but he had groin surgery. So you're talking about all these guys that were Senior Bowl guys, and usually that means that you're supposed to go in the top 200 of the draft. Obviously, some guys slipped through the cracks, and they obviously had the local kid, Jamal Pritchett, who went UDFA to the Jets. But I feel like for the most part, they get a consensus of who the top guys are going to be, and they try to get them in Mobile. So for Arian Smith to be in that group, somebody thought highly of him, and the Jets, with their plan of finding a burner, probably got jumped for Kyle Williams a little bit. And there was another corner or speedy wide receiver that went at the top. Shamir Dike from Florida went at the top of the 4th round too. So maybe they were a little nervous. Dante Thornton went 2 picks before them to the Raiders. So maybe they were a little nervous that the burners that they really coveted were going to go. So I understand we can say it's a reach till we're blue in the face, but I think for the most part, this is going to be a really good draft class.
Hit the like button if you haven't already. Comments, questions, your super chats. We'll cut the line. We're talking with Dylan Tereman. He knows all about the NFL draft. Just kidding, but he does know a ton. He's really good. And if you watched any of our coverage over the weekend, he proved that during his many, many hours spent with us during our megacast. I want to shout out David Atkins. He's the first person to get a membership during today's show. David, you are in the Asmaniac raffle for one. And let me know that this week, if you're just tuning in, we're giving away, I think, the best prize I've ever spent copious amounts of cash on to give away to the Asmaniacs, a full-sized Broadway Joe Namath throwback helmet. That's right, full-sized. It comes with a display case as well. You see on the left there the certificate of authenticity. If you want a Namath full-sized throwback helmet, get the membership to be eligible to win the top prize. We're also giving away a signed Justin Fields helmet. A lot of you were interested in that one during the megacast, and a signed Joe Klecko helmet. So 3 great prizes, one of them an all-timer with the Broadway Joe helmet. Also, if you attended our draft party Thursday night, go to jakeasman.com and check out the full photo album from the event. Shout out to everyone who made it so much fun. Bonesy's speech is still going, by the way. It was so special. Great night. Gorman, PBM, big fella. What else is better than that? And how about a little panorama view of the crowd here? Just unreal turnout. Thank you again to Clinton Hall for having us and everyone who made it out to the party. The full photo album is once again available at jakeasman.com. Dylan, did you get a chance, by the way, to see the full photo album? I know I posted it in the Discord and shared some photos, but I don't even know if you've seen the whole thing.
No, I have not. And I'm like apprehensive about it because as much as I see how much fun you guys had, I'm just going to get that much more jealous that I wasn't able to attend. And I mean, I'm looking forward to the next one, and I hope that I'm in the next photo album of pictures. So no, I have not seen the full thing.
It was
a lot of Bonesy, I heard, though.
Oh, a ton of Bonesy. He was one of the big stars in the night. And look, he deserves it. I mean, he is the Asmaniac Madness champ, as we all know.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, Andy is the second Asmaniac to gift the membership. Thank you, Andy. You're in the raffle for one. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Dan, the Jet fan, says, I hope Malachi Moore won't be a combination of Malachi Corley and Elijah Moore. God, why do you got to do this to us, Dan?
Oof. Come on. That's more positive vibes. I understand it was well, Malachi Moore is definitely not going to be that. Maybe Arian Smith is more Elijah Moore, but I don't think Malachi Moore we have anything to worry about. Total, like, cerebral player, I guess we'll call him, like, great communicator on the back end. Like, this is something Will Parkinson pointed out, and I don't want to steal it, so I want to give him total credit. when CJ Mosley and Michael Carter weren't on the field last year, you could tell the communication was lacking. Now, I think Malachi Moore is really going to pick up the pieces there. I know Quincy wears the green dot on defense. He gets the play calls. I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to give it to Malachi Moore in the near future. Not saying this year. I still think it's going to be Quincy, but Malachi Moore, I'm almost positive Brian Branch wore it in Detroit. So that's just a little bit of a tell that I think Malachi Moore might be getting the green dot in a couple years.
A lot of Lions comparisons with these draft picks by the Jets.
Yeah. And the Jameson one is tough, dude. Like, he was a top 15 pick. Like, Arian Smith was 110, not even rated in like most people's top 150. So it is a very big difference. I understand, like, maybe schematically they see a lot of similarities, or when they talked to him in the interviews, they felt like he was kind of similar to Jameson, but it's tough when you only exclusively compare them to your former team, because we don't want you to be chasing the Detroit Jets, so to speak. We want to be the New York Jets and have our own flavor, and Jared Goff is not our quarterback. Justin Fields is our quarterback. And I saw a comment in here real quick. Fields or Dart? Fields, like strictly Fields over Dart. So I do think it's a completely different offense, and we need to treat it as such.
And by the way, we don't want to be the Detroit Lions because
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or we're going to remain shit. I mean, we'll find out. Kyle Clifton checks in with a $20 super chat. He is in the raffle for 5. Shame is we'll never know how closely Membu and the 2 tight ends were rated by the Jets, or if a trade down was on the table at 7. I like Colston Loveland, ... like more than a friend, LOL. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Clifton getting a little horny on a Tuesday afternoon for Colston Loveland.
Calm your freaky down.
Jesus, Kyle. Have some shame.
Do you think the Jets are going to put out like a draft recap video, one Jets drive production style like they had under Saleh and Douglas? Or do you think because of how kind of tight-lipped and buttoned up everything seems to be that they're going to be very limited with their off-season content?
I hope so.
Because we might find this out, how much they like tight end, or how much they were not, or getting calls to move out of 7. Maybe we get a video of Mougey telling the Bears to screw off, and we want Armand Membu at 7, and we're not moving at 10. So
I'm all for as much content as possible. I think that there's going to be less of that because Glenn doesn't want it. He wants to be move in silence, as he said.
Yep.
Hennessy says, so this regime reached on a wide receiver, and the last one drafted Corley, who everyone loves, but couldn't find a spot for him on the field. What do you prefer? I prefer for them to draft good players, Henny. Time will tell if Arian Smith can be one of those. If he's not, though, they open themselves up for even more criticism than normal for just drafting a 4th-round pick that didn't pan out, because the consensus is this was a big reach, and we'll find out if that ends up being the case.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like, I prefer better players or good players that see the field immediately, but I was a huge Corley advocate last year, so I still want to see what year 1.5, according to him, has in store. And obviously, I'm not going to sell Arian Smith out. Like, I'm not going to, be out on him yet. We have to see him even put on a practice jersey. So I would prefer if we had guys that we felt better about, like Jalen Royals. That was a guy who was on the board that the Chiefs ended up getting. Like, how do you let the Chiefs get these guys? That's the thing. And obviously the Philadelphia Eagles getting Ty Robinson the pick after. So it is a little tough, but it's hard to say what do I prefer when I really just haven't seen either of them yet.
Jets Worldwide says, I'd like to thank Nick Shine for squeezing my butt during one of the photos. Can you point out which one, Snowball? We're going to have to study the tape here. Break that one down.
It's the one where Snowball is smiling aggressively because he liked it. Shout out Snowball. You and Johnny Boy.
So my brother just wrote in, I want Bobby Beasley to call back in with some proof. So Bobby Beasley, for those who don't know, is Beast Breaker's sworn arch nemesis. And he called in earlier today, and we don't have time to really, play the full call. It got wild, Beast and Beasley going at it. You had Mr. Bonesy calling in as Beast's lawyer to protect Beast. But all I'm going to say is if you missed the first show today, go back to about the first or the final 30 minutes or so, and your mind might be blown. If you don't have time to do that, you're in luck because Gator made this. On the line right now is a guy who is claiming to be Bobby Beasley, Beastbreaker's arch nemesis. Mr. Beasley, is this you?
We went to high school. He was having some degree of difficulty graduating, and they had me there as a mentor for him. When I was mentoring him, he discovered that I was training to become a professional wrestler. I come from a professional wrestling family. He would take all these stories about Cary High School, being prom king, and this and that. That's all stuff that comes from my life. 100% of what he comes up with, he's taking that from my life.
Is that Beasley?
Yes, that is. That's the son of a bitch I want.
What is the backstory? Why he doesn't like you?
Jealousy is what I would imagine.
He doesn't have a daughter?
Yeah, as far as I know, no daughter.
He's a son of a bitch.
Calm down. Is he a Jets fan? You can't say he's not a Jets fan.
I would imagine he's a Chicago Bears fan.
But he has actual Jets gear.
I think he probably bought that before he got on your show, man.
There once was a woman who called in named Julie that was his sister-in-law. Is she not real?
No. I don't think anyone's out there claiming Beastbreaker 666 is a relative.
We'll get to the bottom of this piece, all right?
This is it, Beasley.
But
you are not Asmaniacs. You're not real New York Jet. You're a lion sack of dog crap, just like your life is. And I'm going to put you in submission with this belt.
we have two sides to the story now, and I'm not saying you're not telling the truth or anything like that. It's our first experience with you, Mr. Beasley, here, so I'm just trying to get some more background information on the whole thing.
I worked my ass off to come on here. I put blood and sweat and tears and agony and grief and pain.
Gator says, what actual evidence do you have for your claims?
Just messages from friends.
Interesting. All right, let's check in with Beast right now.
There are layers to this, man. Jason, it's good to see you, my friend.
Calm down, Beast.
Easy, pal.
Say I can't take the risk
come on.
I've heard some hot bullshit from a clown like that. That guy is a disgrace to the Asmaniacs. I've been on this show more times. I've bled, fight, kick, scratch, and did more than you. And I got more balls than you.
Well, I don't know what his obsession is with me, to be honest, man.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about you, but Beast does not like you, obviously. Just that you're his arch nemesis. He's screaming and yelling that you're invading the show. You're in the chat. Huh? Did you meet him in high school? Was he your mentor, Beast? Let's start there.
No. He never went to Cary High School. Never did. He's not an Asmaniac. He's not a Jet fan. Hiding in his basement with his little pink panties on and a tutu on.
I went to Cary. I definitely mentored the man. I've got pictures to prove it, too, now that I'm looking through my Facebook right now.
We want to see some photos of you two together.
I certainly have those.
Why the fuck are you even doing this?
Because I've got a big heart, sir.
Bobby Beasley, I'm sorry to tell you, you guys didn't go to the same high school. You guys met at some fruity wrestling event, and now you're just messing with the guy. You are just trying to ruin Beastbreaker's big moment. I don't care what you say. Half the stuff Beastbreaker tells us, we know is bullshit. Who cares? He's our guy. You coming on this show, you're doing nothing for him. If you cared about him, you wouldn't come on here dogging him and making him act like his whole act is a whole
what have I said? What have I said that has dogged him? Did I meet him at a wrestling No, I met him in school. What the hell are you talking about?
Bullshit. You did not meet him in school. Listen, bro, if you cared about Beast, there's no reason you would have came on the show.
Hey, don't bro me, man, all right? Are you an actual lawyer or what, man?
Yeah, I am a lawyer. Why?
Fantastic. No, I was just curious.
You like to pose for little boys in gay porn magazines.
I don't even know what the hell that is, but somehow you do.
Bobby Beasley, you need to show us a lot more proof. I still don't understand if you cared about Beast for a second, you wouldn't.
There's an episode 2, man, I can guarantee.
So that was the first show today, Dylan. I know you were in the car driving, listening to that. Just craziness. That my phone blew up more after that show than any show I've done since Aaron Rodgers said he wanted to play for the Jets. So that's what type of day it was.
Dude, I don't think I've ever seen Beast that flustered. I shared a picture. If you want to throw it up, I don't know if yeah. This is Beast when Bobby Beasley called in. Like, he was out of his gourd flustered. Shout out Paul Heyman, by the way. That was epic. I hope to see the conclusion here today. I hope Bobby Beasley calls in. Just got some simple questions that I feel like we can get to the bottom of this with. And if he comes over with like some Photoshop pictures, we know it's BS, but I'm waiting on the evidence he claims he has.
Man, let me say this. If you miss a minute of the show, you miss a lot. So make sure you find a way to tune in as much as you can, folks. I don't care if the draft is come and gone. We don't stop around here. All right. My God. Unbelievable turn of events. Unreal. We'll find out if Mr. Bobby Beasley will be calling back in anytime soon. In the meantime, super chat here from Ralphie. Ralphie is the biggest Malachi Moore fan out there. He knows the Moore family. He already has a Malachi Moore Bama jersey. He's got to be the only Jet fan in possession of that. Was Loveland before Warren a shock? Also, FSU corner in the third round has to be a steal. Top 50 grade. Yeah, 100%. I think that's why they took him. Maybe they had a player in mind that went right before they were up, and rather than reach, they said, let's get great value here with a player we think is going to be really good. And I do believe to us, maybe Warren going after Loveland was a shock, but not to people in NFL circles. Is that a fair assessment, Dylan?
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly fair because I had a Twitter exchange with Matt Miller of ESPN maybe a week and a half before the draft kicked off, and he had Loveland as his top tight end and said that he would take Loveland for the Bears over Tyler Warren. So when I heard that, I just went around and I was looking at other people's big boards and where they had him. And if Tyler Warren was number 10, Loveland was 11. Or if Colston Loveland was number 10, then Warren was 11 on a lot of these boards. So people didn't really know how to stack them up. And it's hard to, put Tyler Warren so many spots ahead of Loveland or vice versa because they do so many different things at the tight end position. I said at the top, Malachi Moore was my favorite pick of the entire class. It's easily my favorite day 3 pick. I do think AZ Thomas was my favorite pick. You have our reaction on we were live for that, me, you, and Buffalo. And I immediately just went, wow. Like I was a little stunned that they went corner, but I knew the value of corner was there because I was mocking AZ and Savone Revel to the Jets pre-free agency at 42. And then they go out and they sign Brandon Stevens. So I was like, okay, well, they got their long physical man corner that they wanted. So let's prioritize something else. But they couldn't pass up on the value of AZ. And dude, it's some of the best, not some of the best film, but some of the most fun film from a cornerback, because even though like corners don't get targeted every play, he's doing something on every play that like gives you confidence that he could be a really good player, whether it's that 2-hand punch that Aaron Glenn was talking about. When you're jamming somebody with 2 hands at the line, it's really boom or bust. Like when you go with 1 hand, you have more stability and balance if you miss. Whereas if you go with 2, like, and you miss, you're kind of falling forward. So it is a very boom or bust technique, but he does it very well. And like I mentioned before, his hip fluidity, his length, his ability to, just stay in the hip pocket of these guys. I'm certainly a big fan of this pick, and I do agree. It has to be a steal. Most people had him in the top 50. Some even thought he could slip into the back of the first round. And I know at the time of the draft, 60 players are first-round picks potentially, and there's only 32. But between Mason Taylor and him, I wouldn't have been shocked if they were both gone before 42.
Ralphie, appreciate your super chat. Reminder, $20 super chat. You're in the raffle to win the signed full-size Joe Namath helmet for 5 entries. Kyle says, Jake, it was a choice of tight end 1 and offensive tackle 9 or offensive tackle 1 and tight end 3. They made the best choice. In theory, maybe it came down to that, Kyle, but we don't know how the Jets graded all these guys. We don't know their board.
Yeah. And on the surface, it was the 9th offensive tackle who would have been on the board for the Jets there. They could have had Ursary as number 4 or number 3 or what have you. I do think
and their rankings could be all over the place. They took Arian Smith at 110. We have 7th round grades on the guy.
Exactly. We don't know how big or what specific things they looked for at positions. And this is why the first draft of a regime is always hard to, mock for or pinpoint. But the Jets just had such specific needs that a lot of beat writers had Armand Membu and Mason Taylor being the first 2 picks. That's not saying the Jets are transparent and leaking their picks. It's just we knew what the needs were and they addressed the needs. Now, going forward, we're going to see the thresholds that they do and don't like. We're going to see the schools that they value. Clearly, the Southeast Conference was where they valued it. And I know a couple ACC players too. I think, and I could be wrong about this, I know they did a draft call with Chris Nolan a couple years ago when he called Max Mitchell, and he used to be the Southeast scout. But I'm almost certain it is now Andy Davis, and that is somebody I met last year at the 2024 Senior Bowl. Yeah, this year was 25. Yeah, the 2024 Senior Bowl. I met him in the airport, and we were talking about, guys like Jordan Travis. So it made me think that he was the Southeast scout, and I'm almost certain he called Quantez Stiggers on his draft call, and he was like, and they put it up on the screen, Andy Davis, Southeast scout. So he's the guy that they've probably leaned on, him and Phil Savage. I mean, shout out to Phil. Like, the fact that he didn't know if he's going to keep his job, he probably still doesn't know if the Jets are going to retain him on their scouting staff, but he went to the Hula Bowl, he went to Shrine, he went to Senior Bowl, he's at the Combine, he's doing all these things. And then they come away with 5 potential Senior Bowl guys, 3 that actually played at the event and did fairly well. I'd say 2/3 of them did very, very well. So yeah, I think it's a shout out to these guys, and hopefully some of them get retained. It's going to be a lot of mix up in the front office coming forward in the next couple months, but I think some of these guys deserve to stick around.
If you're watching this live right now, hit the like button, comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. If you want to join us at our next Asmaniac outing, Yankee Stadium, the details are available. First come, first serve. It's everyone who joins the Patreon and then joins the Discord that's included with your membership. The date is June 29th. It's a 1:30 first pitch. If you want to join us, become a Patreon member so we have a way of getting a hold of you. Get in the Discord, and it will be, I promise, a spectacular afternoon in the Bronx. Jeffrey says, Dylan just nailed it. We don't know what they're thinking, so let's sit back, crack this open, and see what's in store for us. I get it, Jeffrey, but it'd be a pretty boring show if your favorite content creator said, let's just see what they do. All right,
Yeah.
Show's over.
Yeah, and you can preface by saying we have to wait and see with all these guys, of course, but if I'm going to sit here and just be honest about the picks, I'm going to give my analysis, and I try to do a little bit of both. There are some negatives, there are some positives with these guys. I found a lot of good plays of Arian Smith film, and maybe it's more of the cliche ways that he wins at the college level, whether it's a go route or a deep post or a corner route or whatever. But if you have a guy who can do certain things and you know how to use them in those roles, I don't see how it couldn't be a seamless transition until he figures out the rest of the route tree. Like, I don't have him running in breakers a ton, like maybe a slant, but like big dig routes, I don't have him running those. I probably wouldn't. I mean, fade routes, obviously, because he's a burner. Anything that shows off his speed is going to be conducive to his success. But like shallow crosses are okay. He can run away from a guy in man, but like I would use him on the intermediate to long stuff and then work on his short route running game and use Corley for short route running, for God's sake. He's yak king because he catches the ball within 7 yards of the line of scrimmage and turns it into a 15, 20-yard gain. So they're completely separate players. I don't think Arian Smith is a slot guy. He played there 25% of the time. So it's not a matter of we can have Garrett Wilson, Josh Reynolds, and Arian Smith. Maybe that's kind of their thinking, but I think it's going to be more of Garrett Wilson, Arian Smith, and maybe a big slot in Josh Reynolds, and they do it kind of inverse of what we're thinking, or Corley and Arian Smith are playing alongside Garrett. So they kind of left themselves open to variables at the wide receiver position, although it's not a lot of great talent. So multiple ways to use them, and I don't think him and Corley are too redundant where you have to now shop Corley or get rid of him.
Boomtown. We'll see. 2025. That's the Jets in 2025. We'll see. We'll see on the coach. We'll see on the play caller. We'll see on the quarterback, certainly. We'll see on Arian Smith and some of these other moves that people are questioning. We'll see.
Yep. No, I mean, it's a boring take. And, of course, I agree with you. If you sat up here for 2.5 hours and just told everybody, we'll wait and see, and you didn't get mad and get red in your face and pop the forehead vein of, like, whenever they do something stupid, like, that wouldn't be honest content. And I think we do owe it to everybody in this chat to give honest content at the end of the day. And even if we are leaning on the fence a little bit, it's good to give it from both sides.
And look, the one thing that we try to do on this channel is always show both sides of the argument. So we've had people on who hated the Arian Smith pick. We had Robbie Sable on who was a fan of the pick. And when I can further the narrative for both sides, I will do so by playing John Gruden's evaluation on Arian Smith.
All right, I'm going to give you my sleeper now. I'll put this up here.
Yes, sir.
This is a young man that I know personally. He's been in here at the FFCA. His name is Arian Smith. He plays at the University of Georgia.
Go
this
Dogs.
guy can roll, man. This guy runs sub 4.3. I know he has some catch issues, some hands, some drops, but I have seen this guy working his ass off. This guy can change directions. He has rare acceleration. He can do the one thing you can't coach, man. He can rip the top off, and he will strike fear in people. He's got some strength. He's from right here in the state of Florida. I know what I'm getting. I'm getting an everyday worker that's going to get better and better and better. And his effort is going to help everything catch up. And when he comes into his own, Arian Smith is my guy.
So we try to show all sides of it. We're very fair on this channel, Dylan. I would say we are.
There's a lot to break down in that video. One, we don't know what round his sleeper technically would have fallen to him at. Two, he's wearing a Wisconsin hat and a Travis Hunter t-shirt. A little weird. And then three, when Smith is practicing that gauntlet drill, those first two passes were trash. And he caught him outside his frame, not saying, wow, he's going to be great and have a 100% catch rate at the NFL. But then as he works into that gauntlet drill, look at his eyes, man. He's laser focused on that football. It is not a matter of, I don't think it's focus drops with him. I just think it's other things. And the one thing I did notice when I was watching the Georgia tape, Carson Beck, how the hell was he the number one quarterback in mock drafts last year? We saw what happened with Quinn Ewers. He was the other guy. He was the 1B.
Six-rounder. Yeah, six-round pick.
This time last year. And now he's competing with Zach Wilson to be the backup to Tua Tagovailoa. So it's like things happen in the NFL with these quarterbacks. But
a battle Zach might win. Zach might win that battle.
Dude, I genuinely think he could win. And like now you have two injured-ish quarterbacks in Tua and Ewers, and then Zach Wilson, who is a complete unknown still after 5 years in the NFL. So it is definitely an interesting class. But the quarterback landscape changes over the course of these 12 months. And there was a lot of egregious ducks from Carson Beck on film that I just didn't understand how he could have been the top quarterback in last year's mock, like way too early mocks. So it is interesting, maybe with some better quarterback play. And I'm not saying Justin Fields is head and shoulders better than Carson Beck, but I think we can see a little bit better with the quarterback production being better. So I'm not going to rule it out yet.
JYB says 426 live and 122 likes. Let's get it there for my boys, Jake and Dylan, putting in the work. JYB, you are the man, my friend. Appreciate your support as always. If you can click the like button, if you're one of the nearly 500 people now that are tuned in, it will go a long way towards this channel continuing to grow. It helps the algorithm on YouTube show it to more Jet fans so we can get more Asmaniacs. And reminder, call into the show. Be a part of this thing. We welcome all callers. And the rankings for each month's Asmaniac of the month, the top 10 rankings, they start up again in just a few short days when we get to the month of May. So Boomtown is watching all, and he will give us our list each and every month. Nate wants to know, has Dylan seen a better gauntlet than Mason Taylor?
Oh, yeah. His gauntlet drill was pretty special. I mean, special kid. If there's one thing about his film that sticks out to me, he is a sure hands catcher. He's not going to look it into the body. There was a wide receiver I studied the week of the draft, Savion Williams. He's more of a gadget guy, wildcat quarterback, sneaky, design touches guy, all body catches with him. So you get a guy like Mason Taylor who's always catching it with his hands and then pulling it into his body. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that his gauntlet drill was special.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Gift a membership if you want to pay it forward and give yourself a chance to win some raffle prizes. Once again, full-size Joe Namath helmet, Justin Fields autographed helmet, and a signed Joe Klecko helmet are the top prizes in this week's Asmaniac raffle. Let's go to the phones, and let's say hello to Dominic, who's first up today on the Gusbuster hotline. What's up, Dominic?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
What's up, man?
No, pretty good. Overall, I like the draft. I'm kind of with you guys on the wide receiver, but I think ultimately, I was pretty happy with the Mason Taylor pick, I think. And then you guys really hammered the point home with the peanut butter nickname. I am willing to make a graphic for you, a shirt for you of that design if you guys want it. So
hey, send it my way, and if people like it, I'll throw it up in the store. We'll see. We'll see if it can actually fit on a shirt. If I get approved,
right? Hell yeah. Okay. Well, also with this Bobby Beasley and Beast Breaker stuff, I did a little research on Bobby. He is a wrestler, and he wrestles out of Milwaukee. He does some death match stuff, apparently.
Really?
So that means like light tubes, barbed wire, a lot of blood. Sometimes, if you're familiar with Jim Cornette, he calls it the outlaw mud show kind of stuff. And so it's kind of frowned upon in the business in certain ways, but it's definitely a genre. But otherwise, I would have a suggestion for Beast Breaker would be to cut down your promos a little bit. It's got to be like about a minute and a half to make it a little bit more effective, because he went on a rant yesterday. I caught all that like just right before tuning in here. So
strong. What do you think of the back and forth there? Do you think that Bobby Beasley's telling the truth, or he's just trolling Beast?
I would definitely be on my heels about that. I don't know necessarily. In the wrestling business kind of thing, it seems like people really try to get themselves over when they're and very insincere in certain ways. Not that I know anything about this, but I would say I wouldn't completely trust what Bobby's saying, just as an instinct, I guess. So
interesting. Who knew this many wrestling people would tune into a Jet YouTube show?
Right? That's pretty crazy stuff. Wrestling kind of ties. You'll find that wrestling really ties into everything, though.
It does. No, it does.
Yeah.
My co-host in Houston were huge wrestling people, especially my buddy Cody Stoots. So he would have a saying, everything is pro wrestling. And it's kind of true. A lot of what we do on this show has become like reality TV, wrestling, intros, outros, building up characters, storylines. I love it. It's, I watched the full Netflix and Vince McMahon doc. I thought it was awesome.
Oh yeah,
so it's great.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and it tell you what, like he globalized it and made it something very big and attainable to like just the mass audience. So it makes a lot of sense in that regard. But fun stuff, guys. I'm gonna have to enter this this raffle this week again. I love Joe Namath, so appreciate what you guys are doing. Dylan, good analysis too this weekend. It was a lot of fun tuning in for the draft coverage and everything too. So.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Dominic. Good call, man. Call back anytime. Love that. Yeah, I mean, apparently SummerSlam is at MetLife. We got to get Beast Breaker and Bobby Beasley at SummerSlam then. Represent the
Maniacs is that SummerSlam?
We might have to make it a whole thing. I got to call the Jets. Hey, Woody, can you give us Beast and Beasley as the main event at SummerSlam? I mean, you're lending them your stadium.
As long as Beast Breaker's not yelling his own commentary over the regular commentary there at SummerSlam, I think we'll be all right.
So this was just sent to me here. I haven't seen it yet. Apparently, this is live look, not live, but a previous, I guess, match that Bobby Beasley was involved in. What is going on here? What is he wearing? What is happening here?
Was he fighting a Minotaur?
That was something.
Who's that?
Hold on. What the hell is happening there?
It looked like the guy that called in earlier.
That was definitely Bobby Beasley, I think.
Holy shit. What the hell was that tutu?
I won't say who sent it in, but someone out there is looking after Beast.
I'm flabbergasted by this whole thing.
Look, I think we gotta rally around Beast after watching that. I mean, he dressed up as like I don't even know what he dressed up as. I don't know how to describe it. That was not what I was expecting.
Wild.
Wow. All right. On that note, why don't we check in with the Beast real fast? Let's actually confirm that's Beasley first before we just totally destroy this Beasley character without knowing the whole story.
Yes, folks, that is all proof 100% right in the pudding, and that is all proof. You just seen it right there. That's the whole enchilada, the whole burrito, taco, enchilada, and an extra round of gorditas from Taco Bell. You can take that and put it in the bank, because that shows now that man has nothing in life but being a loser. Game over.
Right now, we're getting some gabagool. If you really want some gabagool, you gotta come get the gabagool. Catch you later.
I think Beast might be onto something there. That was an odd highlight reel I just played, no doubt.
I don't know if it proves Beast is correct. It's not helping either side, though, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think either side can claim victory to this point, right? Beasley clearly knows something about Beast, but we don't know if it's a work or not. If he actually knows him from hometown, we don't have the full story there yet.
When he said earlier today that Beast was laying on his belly playing with wrestling action figures as a 20-year-old high schooler, okay, that had the immediate comedic point to it. But then you can kind of picture it happening. I'm not saying Beast is stupid or was held back till he was 20, but like he brought up things that like Beast could do, like the over commentary. We are exhibit A of that. So we see that all the time with Beast. So we don't know what to believe until the evidence is further produced.
Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of people who love to lay on their bellies, it is time.
He's home, his belly's on the bed. That's what feels good. On the road, his belly's on the bed. In a dirty hotel room. He calls the show, his belly's on the bed. He's just more comfortable. He got a beard, loves the jets, super jets. Where's a big fella, sleeps alone. There's no room on his bed. Where's a big fella?
Hey, what's up?
Wait a second. Are you not on your bed right now?
I'm on the couch, bro.
Whoa.
Oh, by the way, I'm gonna be pitching the bed for a desk soon.
No way. You can't change.
Yeah, because my neck is killing me, bro. I'm getting like some neck problems, and I think that's what it is. So I can't.
Too much laying on the bed?
Pretty much, yeah. Looking up, it's
an awkward position for sure.
Yeah. So, Dylan, check out Tyler Barron's video from Tennessee, because he was there
when he was on Tennessee or against Tennessee.
No, he was on Tennessee. He was there for 4
I
years.
just wanted to clarify. I'm writing it down so I could make sure I don't go find Miami versus Tennessee.
No, he was on Tennessee for 4 years. Then he transferred to Miami last year for his 5th year, and then and now we got him. So he's a good player. He's a good player.
Yeah. I wonder if he was just buried behind Omar Norman Law, James Pierce. Like, I truly don't know much about him at all. So, like, was the talent at Tennessee just too much for him to, get on the field to where he thought he needed to go to Miami? Because Miami was a pretty.
He had like 12 and a half sacks during his time there. So.
Oh, okay. Well, then he was fairly productive. I mean, that's intriguing at least.
Yeah.
But anybody that gets Michael Clemens off the field for me is going to win in my book.
Oh, absolutely.
How big is this test that we're talking about, by the way? People are wondering.
I don't know. It's in my previous office, so I'll have to see how it is. I need a chair that I can lean back on, though. I got this chair that's just a flat back, and
now lean back.
I got to lean back, bro.
Hey,
I got to lean back.
I don't know if there's a Costco near you, but I got this one. It's a Lazy Boy manager chair.
Yeah.
$150 at Costco. I mean, I'm not assuming anything about you. You're the big fella, but like there's a weight limit. I don't know if you would pass the threshold, but this thing is 135 degrees back. It's really comfortable. So
will you lay on the desk for at least one of the calls?
Somebody asked me that, but somebody asked me that too. I'm like, nah, I don't think so.
It's kind of awkward if you're replacing the bed, but you're just gonna lay on the
I know,
desk.
right?
Now, Peter Castro.
Oh God. Yeah, that girl did that. Yeah. Anyway, getting to this Bobby Beasley thing, bro.
Yeah, what's happening? What do you think of all this?
I found out some information on Bobby Beasley. I posted it in the chat.
Yeah.
In the Discord. He seems to be a interesting character, let's just say that. And I'm Team Beast on this. Because the math really doesn't add up. Bobby Beasley is about 7 years younger than Beast. No, right. 6 years younger than Beast. So why would you have, say Beast was 20, he said he was 20 when he graduated or whatever. So why would a 14-year-old kid be a mentor to a 20-year-old man? It makes no sense. There's lots of stuff in this that makes no sense. I think he's full of shit, to be perfectly honest.
I need to see him produce some sort of documentation that he went to the same high school as Beast. Because you're right. The math doesn't add up. Beast has been consistent with that. I don't know. He said a lot, like enough that it's kind of believable because we know Beast, but we don't know Beasley. And I'm Team Beast because Beast is our guy,
Did you read the article that I posted in the?
I did. Yeah, that was a wild one.
So he doesn't have the most high character, bro.
And we know he dresses up as like a woman kind of in the ring, whatever that was.
Yeah. And Beast called that out too. He said that's what he did.
He did.
So
now the problem is Beast is just yelling about a lot of things. We don't know what's actually reality, but Beast did say that Bobby Beasley dresses up as like a woman, and once again, here's the video. It looks like that's true. That looks like a woman to me, big fella.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's all BS, and I'm Team Beast on this. And I mean, Beast probably what's the word? He probably makes things more than what they are, but he embellishes. That's the word I'm looking for. He embellishes on his stories and stuff like that. So, it's tough. And wrestlers are known to play personas and lie and stuff like that too. So it's tough. But I'm telling you, I'm Team Beast on this. That's it. The only thing that I need to know from Beast is when did he go to high school? Like what years did he go to high school?
Mr. Big Fella, I was in a crappy school. I moved in 2003 to Curie. I graduated from Curie 2004 as part of the new generation. I am a third generation out of that building, and thanks to my mom and my uncle, who are first and second generation, this man, Bobby Beasley, has no idea who he's talking about. And first of all, his ideas are so mismanaged, piss poor, incomplete, adequately false. Everything he said today was false. He never married Chris Baker. That was completely a fabricated fat lie. The Mexico story was a fat lie. Him trying to claim he was my mentor, that's a fat lie from a mile away.
Is there such thing as a skinny lie?
Jake, it makes sense. It makes sense because that school was established in 1999. Like it was founded in 1999. So if Beast went there
one more thing. I did 20 radiums for my high school, and I also went to their Christmas program, which they helped me get back on my feet. 20 years later, look what I'm doing now. I'm kicking more ass than what nobody else can do. And so what is this? What's all this proof here? What is this?
This is the 2006-2007 senior prom from Curie High School.
I don't think so. This ain't definitely not even Bobby Beasley from miles away. This is fraud, completely fabricated. I smell a bunch of BS from miles away. This man has no idea
that's what I'm getting at, Beast.
I don't think so.
Beast, let him finish. He's on your side.
Beast. Correct.
Go ahead. I muted him.
Beast.
Relax.
I'm trying to help you here.
Jake, I gotta go. I gotta pick up my daughter.
Beasley,
I'll talk to you later.
Lay on your bed, big fella. We love you.
Who is wearing the prom king sash right here? Clearly, this is not the Bobby Beasley we saw in the pink tutu. I'm so glad he's talking through muted. And I'm now on board with Beastbreaker. Unless I have the wrong year. Maybe I do, but I don't know if you were here, Beast. I don't see any pictures of you. I do see some interesting characters at this high school. I love that he is continuing to talk over me and he's muted. But no, I am now leaning Beastbreaker over Bobby Beasley 100%.
I'm Team Beast as well. To this point, obviously, we're still talking. We're still trying to get to the bottom of this Beasley character, but I'm
Paul Heyman's upset again. Paul Heyman's upset.
We'll just let Beast keep talking until he realizes no one can hear him. Indy Jet says, was Team Beast till he made comment. Beast needs to apologize to everyone. Good luck with that, Indy. I mean, come on now. Have you met Beast?
I don't think so. I apologize to nobody, not especially to that little loser. You mean the fraud? Mr. I can't get anything correct because he's a big liar and a disgrace to mankind and to everything in life. He's a disgrace to men, women, and children. And a disgrace to my guinea pig and to animals in life.
So wait, hold on. Are we separating guinea pig from other animals, or is it all under the animal umbrella?
Yes, please.
Okay. I just want to clarify.
And one more thing. If he ever comes on this show ever again and makes more of these fabricated excuses, there's going to be a bye-bye for him because I did a new hole for him, and this is my new hole for him. Now look what you done, Bobby Beasley. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Sometime down here will make you feel like you're run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give him 24 hours to think about it.
Would you silence? Or should I do one of these?
That was the best whole impression I've ever heard.
I don't care how many times you watch this show. You could be a daily viewer of this show. To know every single word of that clip is absolutely insane. I know a lot of these people's songs by heart, and they're short, but I don't know the whole. And that was crazy. Shout out to Beast on that one.
Gator, you have a new whole video. Get the Bobby Beasley whole video ready for when Beasley calls in and we debunk his story.
I was just trying to ask him if he attended this prom because I didn't see any pictures of him, but I see some like intriguing characters here. Like these three
What year is
folks.
this? 06?
This is 06, 07. Like, look how long their suits are, bro. Like they're down to like mid-thigh with their blazers. Like
It looks like the 2004 draft. Where's LeBron?
Yeah, right. Like I don't see
Or
Bobby.
03.
I don't see Beastbreaker. Now, like we're way in the weeds here with my boy Cornrows. I didn't see any. See, you get another peek of the prom king right there in the back. Not Bobby Beasley. So I think his story's crumbling before us. And shout out to the Asmaniac investigators that are out there doing the hard work.
I've been doing this a long time, and I did not expect today to be one of the craziest days of content I've ever produced.
Yeah, I originally tried to look up the like list of the graduating class of 07, but like it's like a registered thing. Like you have to put your name in the list. So I didn't see Bobby Beasley or whatever Beastbreaker's official government title is. I know it was claimed to be Jason as the first name, but allegedly we don't know anything at this point. So I was trying to find at least a Bobby Beasley. And I couldn't find anything.
Unbelievable. Wow. This show will have ramifications for weeks, months, maybe years to come. Gary checks in. The first hole in Beastbreaker's story was that they went to high school together. They aren't even close to the same age. Beastbreaker's story has more holes than Swiss cheese.
I think you mean Bobby Beasley, not Beastbreaker.
Yeah, okay. That makes much more sense.
Two BBs is real tough.
We got to separate Beasley and B. So if you're going to use initials going forward to everyone out there, BB666 is Beastbreaker, and then BB could be Bobby Beasley, but that can confuse people too. Just spell out Beast or Beasley. Not that hard. Why overcomplicate it? Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to Gary, who's actually on the line.
Gas station pizza is better than a Big Mac. I'm not a normal person, as you know, Jake, right? Like my brain doesn't work like that of other people. I got kind of like a conspiracy theorist mind. I'm not saying everything Beastbreaker's saying is accurate. There's other, and Dylan was right. When I said BB, I meant Brian Beasley. Is that what we're calling him?
Bobby Beasley.
Bobby Beasley. Yeah, Dylan was right. Bobby Beasley's story has more holes than Swiss cheese. They went to high school together. They're not even close. Bobby Beasley's probably 10 years younger than him. Like, look at him.
Well, Beasley's story was that he was asked to mentor him or something, which I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay, so Beastbreaker's my age. Beasley is like 30. How the hell what did Beasley do? He housed me. He graduated when he was 10. Like, how the hell they go to high school together? There's no way they went to high school together.
Beast would have had to been held back multiple years, and Bobby Beasley would have probably had to skip a grade in elementary school. Like he said he was 36, and if Beast is 41, that's 5 years. So we'll just say 6 grades in between them. So Beast, there has to be 2 years made up for in this story, and I think that's where the gray area just begins, and it gets worse from there.
But even so, I don't know their high school. Maybe it's 10 through 12. Maybe it's 11 and 12. Maybe it's 9 through 12. I have no idea. But like, what 12th grader, even if he was a super senior and Beasley skipped a grade, what senior is being mentored by a freshman?
Yeah, that's
the story just doesn't make any sense, right? That was like when he went to high school together. It's like if I said me and Dylan went to high school together, is anyone going to believe that story?
I'm still in high school, Gary.
I graduated before he was born. Right?
He goes to high school with Fialco.
Makes sense.
Yes. Man. And the whole like Milwaukee, Chicago, or Illinois, wherever it is, like I don't know if I buy the whole you were born and raised in Milwaukee, moved to Chicago for high school, and then moved back to Milwaukee, maybe. But like I think at this point he's just kind of stringing together a series of lies and waiting till the bubble gets bursted. And I think the Facebook pictures are going to prove that he doesn't have anything on Beast.
the Milwaukee and Chicago are only about an hour and a half apart, right? My car train. It's not that far, but yeah, the whole story is that in and of itself wouldn't break the story. But when you add it in with all the other nonsense in Beasley's story, it's like this starts to stink real bad real quick. It's like you know, say I went into space. Okay, I walked on the moon. No, you didn't.
The poll is live. Are you team Beastbreaker or are you team Bobby Beasley? So people could vote. I just want to get an idea on where people are at. If people want the full exchange from this morning, you got to go to the last like 30 minutes or so of our show because it was wild. I mean, at one point, Bobby Beasley went head-to-head with Mr. Bonesy, calling in, our champion of Asmaniac Madness, calling in to defend Beastbreaker. And Bonesy did such a good job defending the Beast that Bobby Beasley thought that Bonesy was his actual attorney.
The only thing better than Alden's shoes is Joey D, cause he totally rules. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody. Damn, this show is crazy.
He's a lawyer that has his shop, that has his office in a shoe store. He represents shoe salesmen all over the world for fraudulent sales.
When he said it, I had to keep a straight face. Now it's just like, yes, I am. And then I'm looking at my camera and I see all the shoes behind me, and I'm like,
what really sells it is the lawyer in the byline here, Mr. Bonesy, lawyer.
I added that in the middle of the back and forth. And he's like, "Are you a lawyer?" And Bonesy said yes, and I'm dying on hold, like peeing my pants. So then I put lawyer underneath his name.
You know, you smelt bullshit right from the jump. I mean, look, Beastbreaker, we know Beastbreaker bullshits a little bit, but it's okay. That's part of, we all bullshit. And when this guy is coming at him with these, and then when the guy's saying stuff like, I was prom king, I was class clown 2 years in a row. I'm just like, bro, man, who cares, dog? Like, what are you talking about right now? Like, it was, and you know,
I love. I love the back and forth between, hey pal, hey bro, hey brother, like you guys are like one upping each other, like with the backhanded insult like nicknames here, and he's like, don't bro me, and it's like, all right pal, it's like, all right man, like don't come at the champ like this and expect like it to go your way, like.
No, we listen, man. Now maybe you guys understand why I defend Joe Douglas so much. It's in my blood, man.
I always said if I have to rob a bank, I want to rob it with Bonesy.
Hell yeah, man. Me and Beastmaker may not see eye to eye, but he's part of the family, man. It's just like, you know what I'm saying?
Those maniacs are coming together, man. Solidarity for Beast, man.
Well, I really hope this guy calls back, though. I really.
But if you're being questioned by the cops, and the cops said Bonesy already squealed, you're gonna have to do better than that. I know my boy Bonesy, and I know he didn't squeal. You're gonna have to come better than that.
They take you on either side of the car, and I'm not speaking from experience. And they say, "Oh, Bonesy said this," and I'm over here, and I'm like, "Oh shit, Bonesy just snitched me out," and then I'm gonna snitch Bonesy out? Hell no, that's nope. It's not how that works.
Bonesy didn't sing. I know Bonesy. He didn't sing.
Are you a lawyer? Yes. And then he just buys it immediately.
I had to keep a straight face because he asked it and he like really believed it, and I was just like, yeah.
Those are shoe boxes. Those are old cases in the back.
He's a new lawyer. He's got his own office now. It's in a shoe store, but you know it's just temporary.
Shoe closet.
Here's the question I have for like Beasley, like he said he was going to produce photo evidence that he went to high school with Beast. I still have not gotten that evidence, so we got to hold him to that.
Well, the prom picture could be a prom. That could have been my prom. Like that picture wasn't.
No. I found that picture.
Oh, you found that
It's not
picture.
Bobby Beasley.
Okay,
I went and found the 06-07 prom from Curie, which Beast apparently told me was not. Which it was. Like it's on the
Beast
school
would have long
website.
gone with high school by 07. I graduated high school in 01. So he
said he was there in 03.
03.
So I just did the math, and it would have been 06, 07. Like they have the archives of. Okay, hold on. Let's see. They have 06, 07, 07, 08, and then on. So they don't have anything of like his early years of high school.
This is unreal, man. Can everyone hit the like button, please? This has been a crazy day, man.
We need to ask Beastbreaker though. Like honestly, like Beast, I got your back on this, but could you just tell us like how you know this guy? How do you know this fruitcake? Like
We already know they know each other from the wrestling scene in the Midwest. Like we can put that together.
Ladies and
Please
gentlemen,
put a shirt on, bro.
Jesus.
Sorry about that.
He said sorry.
Where's the hot sauce? Sorry about that.
Oh,
Let me
this
get
guy.
the down here. Thank you very much. Now, okay, let's not just start jumping guns yet. First of all, this man Bobby Beasley is a fraud and a big liar. He never attended Curie High School. He was a complete fraud because I have friends in the security department, also the front office, friends also in the lunchroom, and friends in the PE department, which I have friends
We know
with.
you got friends
And
in
yes,
the
I do.
lunchroom, bro.
And repeat that, please.
We know you got friends in the lunchroom. We see it.
Oh yes, I do. Well, here's the thing: the ladies know me very well because
I'm
always
sure
ask.
they do. They
Well,
know your
the first
order
thing
too.
the first thing I always would ask is it was either a cheese pizza or a sausage. I generally would do sausage pizza Monday, Wednesday, Friday, cheeseburgers Tuesday, Thursdays. I would love doing it. That was my but you know what? Enough about this Bobby Beasley because he's already been exposed and he's already a fraud and a liar. Thank you, Mr. Bonesy. You are going to be raffled into my 10 raffles because I'll be sending Jake $50 in a couple of days. And Mr. Bonesy, you are going to be getting my congratulations. And I also might add in a gift card for you if you want anything you want. You name it. You can name it Pizza Hut. You can have Domino's. Hey, whatever you want. You pick it out. I'll give it to you.
All I want is you on like maybe the next couple calls. Just call in with Lil Joey. Because Lil Joey is what touched my heart and got me to back you. So
hey,
you need
that
to
little boy is special. You know why? When I bought him from PetSmart, he was a funny little boy. He didn't have anybody to play with, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring this little boy home and give him the ropes. He his first night he had a clean cage, fresh food, everything ready to go. Let me just say, I've been doing this for 15 years, and you know what? I love that little guy, and I take care of that little guy. He had his first Thanksgiving, his first Christmas, his first New Year's, his first St. Patty's, and his first Easter. And I want to give a good shout out to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who has brought us here all together. You know why? Because God does the great things in life. And you, Gary, you're a great guy. I like your work. I love your takes, but sometimes you get me a little off the rails, but I can't, hey, you're different. You're a different person now, I'm not me and you're not me either. So hey, we're
of the
friends.
Holy Spirit, and we give the forever and ever.
Okay, who's Amen. Hey, let me just say, God is good. God is great. And you know what?
God is great
Mother's
all the
Day is
time.
coming up. And you know what? Mother's Day is coming up. And you know what? A shout out to all those mothers out there who have loved ones and also dads like me who have a daughter. And to Mr. Beasley, I do have a daughter. I have a granddaughter, a grandson, and a son-in-law. So, Sonny boy, as Mr. Bonesy once said, you're nothing more than a fruitcake and a liar.
If you have a son-in-law, that means you have to have a wife, Beast.
Well, my daughter has a husband. So I'm not being rude. So I'm doing my job. I'm going to do my job as a parent. So I'm going to do whatever has to be done. And
your daughter's
whatever
married.
has to be done,
I'm dumb.
the way it
Never mind.
goes.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever
your
has to
daughter's
go.
married and has 2 kids. Is that right? Your daughter's
That's
married.
right.
And has 2...
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
Everything counts. It's because business is business and family is family. And to Mr. Beasley.
Up in the attic where the beams creak low, Beastbreaker's heart is a steady glow. Little Joey perched up high with pride, taking a spin on a piggyback ride. Beastbreaker laughs, his joy ain't small, loves his pizza, loves gabagool, all in all. Little Joey squeaking, they roam so wide, living the dream on a piggyback ride. The floorboards groan beneath his feet, but it's pure love that can't be beat. Little Joey's fur glows in the dim attic light, holding on tight through the moonlit night. Beastbreaker laughs, his joy ain't small, loves his pizza, loves gabagool, all in all. Little Joey squeaking, they roam so wide, living the dream on a piggyback ride.
Wow, what a moment in time there, Dylan. We were a part of history there. How about that?
That was truly something. I mean, when Beastbreaker tells you that you're the caller that gets off the rails, I don't know, man. Hard to compute that one. I don't think Beast's train has seen the rails in years.
Unreal. Ladies and gentlemen, a great call as well by Bonesy and Gary. More calls coming up. Open phone lines if you want it. Go ahead, Dylan.
Could you imagine? I know you're on Spotify now. Shameless plug for your show being audio only. But could you imagine being audio only for these types of things that happen? I don't know if I would be able to do it. Like, could you imagine picturing Beastbreaker in your head and then all the other characters of this show? Like, I don't think I have the creative imagination to do it, but yeah, you guys are missing something if you're only audio only. I suggest getting over to YouTube.
Man, we love the podcast viewers, but this is a show lately with Beast and the Bobby Beasley saga, our latest saga on this channel. That you definitely want to check out the visuals. My God. Nate wanted Beast to stand and recite the whole video again, but I'll tell you what, Nate, it was so good the first time. Let's not mess with it. One and done. One and done. Like Carmelo's season at Syracuse. All right. Wins a natty. One and done. That's it. Let's not mess with it. Iconical wear. Dirty says, we speak of his early years like this is an active documentary. What is that rat tail Beast? There's a lot happening on this show, Dirty. It's a fair comment, but I mean, who knows? Indy Jets wants to run a poll. Can you do a poll? What show is better? Charles getting catfished or this morning show of Beast versus Bobby Beasley?
I was scheduled to be on that catfished episode, and it was a Tuesday during my move. And I was so upset that I was not on for that show. To hear Gorman yelling, but she's real. Like that forever is stuck with me. But this is, the recency bias might be kicking in a little bit, but this is different. Like, we just have two people who are calling the other incessant liars about every single word they say. Like, Beastbreaker could be like, I breathe air. Bobby would be like, nah, he does not. No, he doesn't. I have proof. Facebook. Like, so it's just so strange that these are the headlines or the storylines that come out of the Asmaniacs.
And I'll tell you what, the reality is the chat is on Beast's side on this one. The poll says Beast is up 60-40 in the battle against Beasley. So when it comes to protecting one of their own, as Mr. Bonesy said, people are rallying behind Beastbreaker 666. Unbelievable. More of your calls right now. PBM is on the line. Mike, what do you make of all the controversy involving Beast and Beasley?
Dude, I was dying today because I was walking into Home Depot to get some caulk for my stairs, and I had my AirPods in, and I'm just laughing. I could not believe what was happening, and I had to see it. So I'm walking around Home Depot with my phone out, just looking and laughing. You know, people thought I was crazy.
Was your caulk out?
No, I had to get caulk. I didn't
it wasn't out though
because I'm walking around with it, with my phone. Just laughing. Oh my god, it was so funny.
So wait, so what was out?
But yeah, my phone was out. What did I say? Did I say my caulk was out?
Calm your freaky down.
My caulk.
We baited him, Jay.
I had my phone out. This is how funny this shit was. I swear, everyone probably thought I was crazy. I was just some crazy guy at Home Depot.
Yeah, if you didn't have this on like AirPods or headphones and you're just free
I had my
blasting,
AirPods in. I had my AirPods in, my phone out, laughing.
I told you. I heard from more people after the first show today than any show since Aaron Rodgers said on McAfee he wanted to be a Jet 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was awesome. But definitely
PBM,
on
I have a
Beast's
request
side.
for you. Next time you call in, can you make your thing say PBMT by any chance? Is there a way we could sneak a T onto that?
What's the T for?
Peanut Butter Mason Taylor.
Peanut Butter Mason Taylor. Is that his nickname?
Yeah, dude. You didn't hear it? Peanut Butter Mason Taylor? You weren't here on Friday? Oh boy, you missed quite a lot.
Oh, was that because of Joy Taylor with the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was still doing my stairs. So I was
Mason
listening.
Peanut Butter Taylor, baby.
That's the brand.
It's got that peanut butter skin. We need him.
It's awesome that she's a Jet fan now.
Someone sent me a video of her doing a Jet chant at the draft party, which is hilarious.
Oh, God.
hell yeah.
Cringe.
It's all right. I'll take her on the side. Maybe that times are changing. We'll see.
Let's hope.
Yeah, but until Beasley shows a yearbook or something, all his entire story is flawed.
So you're on Team Beast then, clearly.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't make any sense from the beginning. I kind of feel bad for this Beasley guy. He's got to do this to make himself feel better.
I'm confused why he's calling in just to lie. Like, I get it, maybe
Like,
some hype,
yeah.
some publicity. Maybe he'll plug his next tutu-wearing,
Maybe
light-smashing
people will
event
watch
or
his
whatever he
stupid
does. But
fake wrestling shows to make him
Yeah,
feel good.
yeah.
Like, all right.
Well,
I
I'm
guess
glad he
so.
called in though, because Beast has been screaming about Beasley. None of us knew who he was.
This
and
guy
now-
definitely knows Beast, though. He knows him somehow enough to find. Maybe he found his YouTube video and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to troll this guy." There's definitely some
sort of connection we don't know yet.
There's a connection and there's a reason why he's doing it. I just don't know what it is yet.
Bill M, who's the biggest Beastbreaker hater out there, says we don't know he's lying. So Bill M will never forget Beastbreaker.
So this is how you know someone's lying. Being an investigator for a long time now, if someone says they have all this evidence and they built this all up, and they don't show it right away, that's the first red flag where you're full of shit. So, this whole time I've been watching, you've been saying my name, blah blah blah. We've had pictures. If you don't have that right away, you're full of shit. That's the first thing. So that's why I knew right away that he was full of shit.
Yeah, because
But
he said,
somehow he
I
knows
have
him,
the pictures,
somehow.
and Jake was like, can you send me the pictures? And he was like, right now, I can't send you the
Yeah.
pictures. And I'm like, okay, so now you either don't have the pictures or you need a minute to doctor them up a little bit, or you're going to do something that's like not legitimate evidence. So yeah, he definitely lost some points when he was trying to say that.
Yeah, he was believable until he said he's got receipts,
Yeah.
but doesn't have the receipts. That's when I said, all right, he's just full of shit.
And he's clearly not a Jets fan. He's a Packers fan because Bob Saleh kept receipts. So he would have known to actually keep receipts and not just talk about it.
What's up with these Packer fans calling the show? We got B-Mac. Now we got this Beasley dude. What's happening?
B-Mac hasn't called in a long time, though.
Yeah, it should stay
I
that
saw
way.
a fake, maybe a fake B-Mac in the chat. He was getting called out to be a fake
Yeah,
B-Mac.
that
I'm
was
not
a fake
sure.
B-Mac. B-Mac doesn't type. That's how
I
the
didn't.
giveaway.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd
The
ever
real
seen him in the
B-Mac is
chat.
Bernard. It says Bernard.
I think
Nixon.
Packers fans and Jets fans are unfortunately going to be linked for a little bit longer because of the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. Like we were at each other's throats a couple years back when Rodgers was coming over. So it's going to be one of those things where Packers fans and Jets fans just don't get along for a couple years. And maybe if Aaron Rodgers goes somewhere else and is terrible, then we can all point fingers at that third team. But for now, I don't think Packers fans and Jets fans love each other.
Do you remember the bar that was celebrating when Rodgers got hurt? All the Packer fans. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Yeah.
That still pisses me off.
To any player, like how
Like,
many
yeah,
Jets
just the
fans
fact-
that Jets fans that cheered for Tua when he got hurt on that Sunday game and then the Thursday night game against Cincinnati.
Terrible.
I couldn't
Yeah.
go on Twitter for a long time because, and not to say like I'm super sensitive, but like what we witnessed with Tua, with his fingers and you can clearly see he was not there. Like, don't ever say anything in a positive, cheerful manner when shit like that's going on the football field. That's just uncalled for.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like, regardless if he makes millions of dollars a lot and he's on a rival, who cares? Like, you don't want to see the guy have real brain injury, which it looked like he did. I forgot the term. Fighters do that too. When they get knocked out and they twitch. Like Aljamain Sterling, it happened to him when he got hit in the head. I forgot what it's called. I'm drawing a blank now, but
I think it's
like, that's-
fencing position.
Yeah, it's not good.
That's right. It's fencing position.
Mm-hmm.
Man. PBM, great call. Go Knicks, all right?
Let's go Knicks, baby. We're getting this dub tonight, and then we're on to Boston. Fuck Boston.
PBM.
That I can agree with. I don't agree with the Knicks doing much, but
Are you who's your NBA team?
oh, my team's not in it. They were in the play-in game, but I'm pretty sure the Heat are eliminated by now.
Oh, you're a Heat fan?
Yeah.
They got eliminated, I think, yesterday by the
Yeah, was it
Cavs.
yesterday? Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
it wasn't looking great for them. I don't
They got
like follow
destroyed.
basketball.
They got killed.
Yeah. I was a fan before they had Shaq. So like when they only had D Wade and like real young Udonis, that was my team.
Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you haven't already. Also, we only have right now 2 memberships that have been gifted. That is very low. I think we only had 5 on the first show. We're going to have a bunch of memberships expire, and I don't want to lose our spot in being able to add future emojis here. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to gift 5 memberships. If you get one, you're entered in the raffle for a chance to win a signed Broadway Joe helmet or a signed Justin Fields helmet or a signed Joe Klecko helmet. So everyone, here's what you need to do if you want a membership. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you like this video. And make sure that you comment and continue to engage day in, day out. All right. We're going to give people a 10-second countdown here. And then we'll have a membership explosion. Let's get some people some badges next to their name. And if you're a channel member, I posted a full highlight reel of our draft party. So you can check that out if you haven't, if you're currently a channel member. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hit the like button. 1, memberships now. Alarms now. All right, 5 people are in the Asmaniac raffle. If you hear your name called, you're in the raffle and you're a channel member. Eddie Torito, Shad Johnson, K. Brock, the Jets fan, Bobby Beasley for life, and Cisco, all receiving channel memberships. That was fast. Bobby Beasley for life. He's back.
You guys are way too fast. But like, what's the reasoning behind the defense of Bobby Beasley? Like, what on what legs are we standing on here to say Bobby Beasley for life as if we trust him and he's not lying at all?
Exactly. Let's get Jesus's take on this and possibly the Jets and the draft. Jets Jesus is on the line. Hello, Jets Jesus.
No, I think this Beast Breaker situation is top priority right now. Obviously, we got to get our boys back. I mean, first of all, the progression of Beast Breaker is wild. From his origin on the show of not being able to have any kind of connection, not knowing what he was saying, being completely incoherent, basically. I mean, it's amazing. Okay, so I also have a theory about Bobby Beasley.
Yes.
This might go. No, maybe you guys were like really young. You guys familiar with Darkwing Duck?
Duckling Duck.
No,
I don't think I am.
Darkwing Duck. It was a cartoon show. Doesn't matter. His villain. He was like a superhero guy, kind of like in the. It doesn't matter. And it's because I'm going to reference other shows that I don't like, other animated shows that I don't think you guys are old enough for. But his villain was Negaduck. So it was like the inverse of him, of Darkwing Duck, the hero. The inverse was villain was Negaduck. Kind of similar to, and this is a little bit older than that, even is Superman and Bizarro. Which I feel like I'm getting into Charles Gorman territory here. But anyway,
Gorman speaking his language. By the way. Yeah, I mean this is peak Gorman content right now.
Yeah, totally. And so I'm thinking that Bobby Beasley, Beastbreaker, we got BB as both of their initials, that we possibly have from a negative universe. Bobby Beasley is Beastbreaker in a negative universe, and we have him coming out now to attack him in this world.
That makes sense. I like
Crazier
that theory a lot.
Have happened, man.
Yep.
Right? Once the video popped up and he was in and we see him in the Packers jersey, I was like, this might be what happened.
Wow.
That's a good point.
We have to consider that. Beast, is it possible Beasley's you from an alternate universe?
I don't think so. The man is reptilian trash. And Mr. Jets Jesus, this man has nothing better to do but lie through his teeth. And you know what? He's going to go straight to hell for what he's done. And you know what? I will make sure on this day, April 29th, Bobby Beasley said goodbye to this page because he will never, and in the words of Chris Jericho, he will never, ever get on us again because we are the Asmaniacs and we are real Jet fans. So take that and put that in your pipe and smoke it, Jack. Take it to the bank.
Beast,
later,
as always, Thank you for the time.
We got peak beast today. This is peak beast.
We did.
Although when you're trying to ask him a question, he needs to understand the words calm and concise. Because when you just want an answer from Beast, like all you get is rage. So
and a promo. But the problem is, I've spoken to Beast off air before the show when he just sits in the waiting room. It's the same thing. He's never just normal.
But he's a cop, right? So like I just think about it like if somebody was talking to a cop the way Beast Breaker talks in real life, apparently, like a cop would just put him in handcuffs and just tell him to sit in the car. Like they would be like, okay, we need to take you to like a psych ward or something because you just don't stop.
Yeah, I've chatted with him in like the waiting room chat thing, and it's all over the place, which is
it's all capital letter mayhem.
Oh, it is all capital letters. Yeah, for sure. I'm convinced that he's just jammed the cap locks on his keyboard and then just popped the key right out. It's forever caps. There's no not caps.
Is it true Beast uses fuzzy pink handcuffs? So that's what Roseanne is saying. I don't know if that's true or not, though.
I feel like that's a Bobby Beasley move.
That's a good point.
Actually, maybe Beast was spawned out of all of these accusations from the Asmaniacs about him.
Excellent point. Jet Jesus, that's why you're Jesus.
I was gonna say I didn't think Jesus had it in him, but man, he surprises me every time.
I mean, they gave me the nickname for one reason, but there's some personality aspects that don't necessarily track.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Jet Jesus. Man, Jet Jesus is going to go on quite the run in March next year if he remains a consistent caller. Because people are going to be like, I'm voting for Jets Jesus, of course.
You can't turn your back on Jesus. That's the promo.
Like, I'm telling you, that depending on who he gets matched up against, the name alone will get him through a round or two, depending on how high of a seed he is.
100%.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about this? Who better than Mimosa? She came all the way from Florida to attend our first ever draft party. Mimosa's the first person to gift memberships during the show. She is in for 10.
Thank you, Mimosa, for your generosity and tremendous support of the Jake Asman Show.
All right, home stretch here. Let's get the memberships, and then we'll wrap this all up here. EC3, D-Rock, Big Islander fan, Jet Set Go, Ali Shafi, AJ, Benji, Fear Me Beast, my name is Bobby Beasley, Dan Hillis, Joey Bad, all receiving channel memberships courtesy of Mimosa. Big fella writes in, can we ask Beast what Beasley actually did? I've tried to, and then Beast starts screaming and yelling for 15 minutes like this. Beast, what did Beasley actually do to you? Where did this all start?
Calmly and concisely.
Let's start running the tail of the tape, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, get your seatbelts ready and get a box of popcorn ready. Sit back and buckle up and eat up that popcorn because I'm going to tell you real hits. First of all, this Bobby Beasley tried to claim he married Brittany Baker. Unfortunately, that never happened. That was false, completely fabricated.
Who's Brittany Baker?
She's a dental worker from Orlando, Florida, who also wrestles for All Elite Wrestling. I've known All Elite Wrestling for 6 years. I'm a big fan of it. I have part of TNT and TBS as a part of stock as well because I put money in for it a long time ago. Also, this man lied about Curie High School. That completely didn't go well as well. That took a big.
What did he do to you though, specifically?
Let's see. Caused me to have almost several panic attacks. Which
how?
Let's see, yelling and screaming through the roof, making false claims, and trying to think he had sex with my daughter, which that wasn't true, by the way, because my daughter has all the information through her lawyers and also my lawyers. See,
is Bonesy one of your lawyers now?
As for now, yes, he's going to be part of that now. He's going to be part of this team because, after all, we are Asmaniacs and we are one family who unites together as a team. To work as a team, you got to work together. Together is the key. Now back to business here. But also, Bobby Beasley tried to claim he was pro AEW. Wrong. He was pro WWE. Unfortunately, he lied through his teeth yet again. Everything this man says is fabricated, false claims, and big lies. So if this man ever comes on this show again and makes up more fake, fraudulent, fake stories, you know where he's going to be going. As they say in Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? In the jail.
Beast, is this the woman that Bobby Beasley claims to be married to?
Tries, but unfortunately, nope. Sorry, Mr. Beasley. You could fabricate and you could also try and photo up all you want, but unfortunately, that's not going to work because she was married to Adam Cole for a long time. But unfortunately, they broke up now, and they're everybody's doing their own parts now. So I'm just making my points loud, sufficient, and very, very clear. So to this Mr. Beasley stories, it will be a big welcoming for this. Now look what you've done, Bobby Beasley. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with a sodomite. Sometime down here will make you feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give him another 24 hours to think about it. Ding!
In the crawl space where the shadows crawl, beast breakers, pork swords ready to maul. Little Joey squeals tear through the grime. Beast mounts up for a filthy climb. Grease slick hands and gabagool breath. Beast rides high on the hog of death. Little Joey's bucket can't break the tide. Thrashing and bashing on a piggyback ride. Splinters bite and the beams collapse. Joey's back arching under Beast's grasp. Moonlight ripping through mold and dust. Two beasts grinding in attic lust. Beast rides high on the hog of death. Little Joey's bucket can't break the tide. Thrashing and bashing on a piggyback ride.
Wow. What a show, Dylan.
Dude,
What a show.
I will never question Beast when he talks about wrestling again. He was spot on. That woman was married to some dude named Adam Cole. They're not together anymore. Like, if there's some knowledge to be known about any wrestling league out there, like AEW, I've never even heard of. So, like, I thought it was just WWE and a couple other things. Like, I don't know. He knew what he was talking about. So he is definitely proving to me that he is more trustworthy than the Bobby Beasley.
And shout out to Beast for completely nailing the whole impersonation. I mean, that is spot on. Wow. I think it was Three Siblings Jay who said that Beast putting in all that film study paid off. You saw it there. That's an Aaron Glenn type of player, by the way. Someone that maybe doesn't have all the physical attributes, but works hard, can get better, and studies the film the right way, and is smart. That's Beastbreaker.
A cerebral player with just enough athleticism to impersonate the Garrett Wilson catch on his bed.
You know what? That's a great way to end the show. Beast, give us a Garrett Wilson, man. The chat's behind you right now. Give us a little G-dub. Here we go.
All right, get ready. Now, gentlemen, get ready. Shotgun formation. Get ready. Green. Green 67. Green 67. Get ready. 3, 2, 7, 7. Oh, yeah, baby. Touchdown. Ah!
What a show. Dylan, you're the man. I got to run. Let's go Knicks tonight. Knicks in 5. I'm off to the Garden. If you're going, say hello if you see me. I'll talk to you soon, Dylan. Appreciate you as always.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week. And chat, you guys, as always, prove why you are A1 in this community.
Best. The absolute best. Hit the like button if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for watching. Watch the first show today if you want more of the Beast versus Beasley saga, because this was one of the all-timers today. Again, thank you to all the calls. Thank you to Mimosa for gifting a membership at the end there. Wow. What a night. What a time. Speaking of great nights, if you missed our draft party last Thursday, you missed a lot. Here's the best of what you missed from what was an all-time night for not just the Jets, but the Asmaniacs as well. Have a good one, everybody. And once again, let's go Knicks.
The Asmaniacs roll, the party's alive. Jake Asman's the fire, keeps the vibe in drive. Jets were everywhere. Let's go Jets, we're loud and wild. Born to cheer since we were a child. The green so bright, we're never confined. As many as forever united we find. Shines a star on the floor with Mr. Bonesy. We're harder to ignore. The songs, the chants, the spirit, the bond. The night keeps going till the break of dawn. Let's go Jets, we're loud and wild. Born to cheer since we were a child. Mr. Bonesy, Mr. Bonesy, it's great to have you, but it's time to get the fuck out, right, Glenn? Aaron Glenn!
I got just the guy to get us going tonight.
You get the fuck out.